Hi, how's it going? My name is McKennon. This is my extreme hardcore chunk locked account, and most people don't know I even have this account because um, I don't upload stuff for it, or rather, I have, but I've been uploading the stuff unlisted just kind of for the historic record of the chunks I rolled on this account. And I'll show the chunk map in a bit. Um, I have a total of 6 chunks that I've unlocked at this point, and the last chunk that I unlocked put me on a 6 month grind. It was pretty dense, so I am finally done with it, or I'm about to be in a minute, and I wanted to share that. Uh, I want to share that because this took a while, and I think the account's getting good. So I've uploaded the stuff as unlisted. It's on a playlist on my YouTube profile, YouTube account, YouTube page, whatever. I don't think the videos are that good because I wasn't making them for people, and I ramble a lot, and the microphone wasn't very good, which I hope I've improved a bit. I'm trying to be better with the microphone. Um, so I'm gonna hopefully catch you up on what I did on this account because you shouldn't need to watch those because they're terrible, and I didn't make them for people. I made them for myself. But I want to make this one for people because I think this account's kind of getting good and I spent a lot of time on it. So I want to start by completing my first quest on the account, which is pretty freaking cool, I think. That's so sweet. Oh, I remember they did this. I have 2 quest points. This is the first quest I did, but the tutorial island quest counts now. At this crafting level and a smithing level, which, if you know much about what I have in my inventory, is the level you need to make a mithril plate body, which is a chunk task that I've had for a really long time. So I'm really happy to have that done. And then you should be able to tell in my inventory the other task that I might have. This took a long time. Oh man, that's so cool. I turned off the thing, the chat messages, because on a hardcore, it's I think bad practice to have that pop up and get stalled while you're in the middle of something. It's pretty frustrating. Um, but that's so cool that I finally have a skill cape that I can buy. I got 99 wood cutting a long time ago because between the fletching and the fire making, took quite a lot of trees. But I can finally get my first skill cape. And this is funny to me because on my main ultimate, I have 200 million wood cutting and fire making. So I really like Winter Todd, and having to do 99 fire making from just chopping trees is ridiculous to me, and I'm really surprised that I got through it and I stuck with it. Um, the change that they made not that long ago to bonfires was a huge deal to this account. Otherwise, it would have taken me triple the logs to cut. They buffed the amount of XP you get from lighting logs on bonfires, which was really cool. And this is kind of a weird one. My other chunk task, this is really cute. I love this. Was to come down here to this is Temple of Ikov quest area, and come down here. I should work, yeah, because the skill cape is a light source. I can come down here and get the boots of lightness, which is so awesome to me. I really like that. Um, I just think that's so cute. So now I have boots of lightness. This is so cool. I really like that. That's awesome. So that was the other chunk task. So let me get out of here. I brought a bunch of food with me, or anti-poison and stuff. I wasn't sure what I'd have to worry about. I literally had no reason to go down here until now. So let me switch over to the chunk map to kind of show what I'm working with here. So you can see I started in Sears Village. I got this pretty little flag here to show where I started. The chunk rules that I'm playing with, I'm going to try and make this brief. I know a lot of people can spend, an hour talking about their rules for their chunk account. It's an extreme account, so I'm including all the rare collection logs and everything that normal extremes have to do, including skill capes, so I had to do that. Um, the exceptions that I'm playing with is I can backlog one thing at a time. And this to me made sense because I'm not trying to make content, I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just a guy playing RuneScape. I wanted to have some ability to have momentum. I don't want to get a chunk that's going to be 2 years because I have horrible training methods. So I could backlog it and maybe get more chunks that allow a better training method and then unbacklog it. So what I have was the last chunk I rolled was the arty chunk, and this gave me a way to train ranged, and it gave me a tinderbox. So I had to get fire making. So I had two skill capes I had to get. So I backlogged ranging skill cape because I didn't have a great way to train it, and it would have been the slowest of all my grinds to do. And I'm kind of close to another chunk that has a pretty big combat grind in it, and I'd rather save 99 range for that. So I decided to backlog it. So basically, the way I'm treating this is I am going to backlog the biggest grind that I have at any given moment. I'm surrounded by a lot of skill capes. I'm not sure which chunk it is here where the fishing tutor, not the fishing tutor, the fishing skill cape guy is. It's one of them, but either way, I don't have a way to train fishing, but I just know it's one of them, so I dropped that there. I got the fletching skill cape here. My starting chunk has the construction skill cape, and so does Artie. I don't have a way to train construction, but that's kind of how I'm handling the backlog. I'm just trying to be reasonable. Like I said, I'm not trying to make content. I'm just a guy. The other this is kind of confusing. The other way that most people play their chunk account is if they lamp to 17 hunter and they have access to Puro Puro, they automatically have to complete all those grinds, even though they lamped for it. They didn't have a way to train up to 17 hunter. They didn't have a level 1 hunter training method. They just lamped for it. Or they lamp Slayer, so now they have to get all the rare Slayer boots from the monsters and stuff like that. I don't really like playing that way. I think that, at least for me, what made sense is if I want to go out of my way to lamp something, I don't really want to be penalized for that. So I am not adding stuff to my chunk map just because I did all the forestry events for Hunter XP and got a really high Hunter level, and then I rolled this chunk with a hayfield. So I have access to Puro Puro, and I've caught a fair number of implings, but I'm not giving myself all the tasks from implings because the chunk picker doesn't know that I went above and beyond the necessary tasks. I know it's probably a little confusing. Basically, if the chunk picker isn't giving it to me, I'm not doing it. That's just what makes sense to me. So I wanted to kind of go over that. Like I said, I have access to Puro Puro. I've caught a bunch of implings. One of the things that I have caught is like eclectic implings, and I have adamant ore from the eclectic implings. And you just saw me process a mithril bar to make a body. I'm not processing adamant because the chunk picker doesn't really know that I trained hunter and I lamped and I did the forestry events and stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. It's just what makes sense to me. So I finally check off all of these. That's so cool. I guess I can talk for a second about what grinds I had to do. I have magic trees here, so I had to make a magic short bow. One of my big grinds was a 87 fletching for a magic shield. That took a while to do. This thieving grind for the pickpocket a hero, I think is what it is. That didn't take too terribly long. It was easy enough. One of the I don't want to get into it. I don't want to complicate things. I had to smith a bunch of mithril things. That was easy enough to do. Fire making cape, boots of lightness. I had to buy a bunch of ranging stuff from the ranging guild because I had I guess I need to talk about this. I went above and beyond and lamped my crafting up so I could get I think it's 10 crafting to pick flax and turn into bowstring. By default, I didn't have a way to train from level 1 crafting, so when I unlocked the ranging guild, I didn't have a way to make a bow to train ranging to get into the guild because the chunk picker didn't know that I lamped to 10 crafting to start making my own bowstring. I hope that makes sense. So I went above and beyond. I was able to access the ranging guild before rolling the arty chunk. But when I rolled the arty chunk, I unlocked a way to train crafting from level 1, so it immediately dumped all the like ranging tasks on me, like to get a rune arrow and equip all this stuff. So eventually when I get a way to train hunter from level 1, it'll immediately dump all the Puro Puro grinds on my to-do list. One thing about that I don't really like the Puro grind, and I'm just a guy. I'm not trying to create content, but my personal opinion, Puro is not a terribly fun place to spend 1,000 hours. I know that might be unpopular, but the way I have my chunk picker set up is I will have to process everything from implings that have a fixed spawn. So meaning everything up to eclectics and lower. So nature implings I won't have to fuss with processing their stuff, or dragon implings or lucky implings or whatever. But I will do up to eclectics. That shouldn't be too bad. The other thing I have is farming. I have it set so farming tasks will only happen if I have a way to like repeatedly train farming, like tithe farm. I will probably set a goal for myself to train thieving up each level, like per week or something at master farmers. I don't know. I'll probably like gradually try to develop some seeds. It's just terribly slow right now. I only have the one farming patch north of Artie, and that's fine. It's not super great. It sucks. I wanted to show something about how I had to train this up. So I had to get a bunch of iron ore and superheat it. Um, it took a while to do, and I wanted to kind of show how I went about it because I think it was really cute. So I got this RD chunk, and the chunk picker. This is going to be kind of confusing again. It doesn't know that I lamped mining to 21 so I could use a mithril pick that I got from Eclectic Implings. All this stuff was above and beyond what was necessary of me. What the chunk picker thought I would have to do was kill paladins for like some pretty rare bar drops. Like they drop iron, steel, and mithril, and they're not terribly common. So instead of having to kill like tens of thousands of heroes for the bars that I needed for 68 smithing, I realized this dungeon down here has a couple ore rocks. They have iron and coal. So I would come down here. I'm going to turn off my options because this helped me a lot down here. I would come down here, I'd put this one up in the corner, and then I would go between these two rocks and superheat them in between actions. And now my hands are cold, so this isn't going to be very good. But this is like kind of the first training method that I had that was kind of cool. So I did this like a lot, and I spent a few weekends doing this, just going back and forth between two rocks and banking in between inventories, and it was kind of fun. Like I said, this is kind of the first training method I had, and it was cool to find this. So I got a bunch of nature runes because one of the chests in Artie has a one nature rune in it. So I had to I have a foot pedal for activities like that. So I set up my foot pedal and I just pedaled away and kept clicking on the chest, and I could get about 2,000 nature runes a day. And this is what I did, and it was kind of cool. Near the end, I didn't really have the time to focus on this because I have other things going on. So I set up my account to just spam click on this. So I would just foot pedal the one rock, and even though I can't get anything after it's depleted, I just keep going, and it's not terribly fast to do it like that, but it's faster than being locked out. So I thought that was kind of a cool training method, and then I have to go loop back around and go up the ladder, which sounds really boring, but after you do it 100 times, doing it a bit more isn't that bad. So I wanted to show that. I was pretty excited to find that method out. Let me go back to the chunk map. A bunch of these were thieving tasks, I think. Not worth noting. It was easy enough to do. I think that was pretty much what I wanted to explain about my chunk rules. It's kind of tricky to perfectly build a chunk map based around the rules that you want, just because it's difficult because you can't customize everything. But I digress. Let me go back to my account real quick and just go over what I got. A bunch of nature runes left over. I overshot what I needed. There isn't, you can see there's not much here. I had various cooking grinds that I had to do when I rolled this chunk, so I used my main account and sold chocolate bars to the stall and bought them on this account and made a bunch of chocolate cakes. It was easy. One tough thing about this account is I don't have a feather shop yet. I'm close to a couple. There's one in the Witch Haven area, which I'll get to, and the Fishing Guild. Um, but both would help for the fletching cape grind. At the moment, I just have these from random events, and there's a couple chickens north of the Ranging Guild, which helped a little bit. Um, Combat upgrades I got mostly from Eclectic Implings. I got the shield and the rune dagger and the van braces and the chaps. Um, these are all the plate bodies I made from the smithing grind. I'm aware that I will have to spend a lot of money at some point on fletching, so I did the math. I could either with 5 steel bars, I can make one plate body and sell that, or make 5 iron arrow tips. Jeez, I lost the word. I figured that it's actually better to make a bunch of plate bodies and sell those and buy fletching supplies like arrowheads and stuff than to just make arrowheads. It's actually more GP. So I will sell those at some point. I thought I would have to high alch all these, which would take a while to get all the nature runes. But I have there's a plate body merchant in here, I think, and specialty shops buy stuff at high alch price, so I could just hop worlds and sell like 5 per world or something. That'll be easy enough. Not a lot of supplies here. I've depleted most of this. Iron bars. I got iron ore from random events. I guess that's another thing I should mention. I have random events. Uh, they're not adding chunk tasks to my account because random events aren't tied to a specific chunk. Doesn't really make sense for me personally to. In my mind, it doesn't make sense that I get a uncut ruby from Molly and now I have to process it because that wasn't. It's not from my chunk. That could have happened anywhere. So there's a bigger discussion about how much I hate random events. So I do random events, and sometimes they benefit me, but maybe that's an unpopular opinion, and that's a stupid idea, and I should have to process everything. But this is just how I'm choosing to play it. A whole bunch of bows from all the fletching I've had to do. Um, there isn't much here. This is just tasks that I had to do and make stocks. Um, I've used up most of my good herbs to make nature offerings, or maybe I make ritual mulch. Whatever the forestry thing is that lets you it gives you a 10% chance to roll an extra log. So it saved a lot of time on the fire making grind. And I have a bunch left over, so it'll save me more time when I have to start fletching. Not a lot of seeds. Again, I only have one farming patch. I'm not really gushing over these seeds just yet. I don't really care. I finished all the random event stuff. I do have one still bag out, which I thought was cool. And then a bunch of these. This is like my cool tab of tasks, like things that were chunk tasks. So I finished the pheasant outfit. I got a bunch of fox whistles. In the first episode, a bunch of my starting chunk tasks were forestry related because obviously, and I didn't get a fox whistle. I was so frustrated, so I had to buy one, and that was like the collection log pop up that I needed to roll the next chunk. And then since then, I've got 5 more, which is just funny to me. I have so much anima bark, it's crazy. But that's pretty much it. I think I'm not wearing anything crazy. Um, I think that's it. I'm kind of tired of waffling around. I want to roll my next chunk. Um, Let me just talk for a second about what's around me. So, one thing about this way I've been playing is I have my main Ultimate Iron Man where I've been playing for many years, and I think I'm a pretty smart guy, but I'm trying to avoid too many spoilers. So there's a lot of like chunk accounts in my area that I'm avoiding watching their YouTube content because I want to be surprised. So I know of a lot of stuff in these areas, and I've flagged some of it, but I want to be surprised. So I'm going to start talking about all my chunk options and things that I'm aware of and stuff like that. And if I say anything that you're going to go in the comments and be like, well, McKennon, you missed this. This chunk actually has this huge grind you're not aware of. Don't. Please, please don't say anything. This is me versus the chunks. But I wanted to share it because I think that I am pretty smart and I know most of the stuff. But just for the sake of my enjoyment, don't drop a comment saying that. Drop a comment telling me how good I am at the game. Do that instead. So I have a bunch of skill capes around me. Like I said, the fletching cape, I got that here. One of these is the fishing guild. I won't have to deal with the fishing. Sorry, not the fishing guild, the fishing skill cape. I won't have to deal with 99 fishing until I get to Catherby and I can start, fishing shrimp and stuff. Um, so I'm not too worried about it. Also, ideally, I roll the fishing guild before Catherby again because I will have access to the feathers, which will help me a lot. Number two has a crafting thing because there's a charter ship here. I am very close to seven, which is a furnace. There's a furnace right here. So if I do have to do the crafting grind, I will hope that's not too bad. But I will have to like get 87 crafting for a Dorgeshan Light Orb. Three doesn't have anything for me. Just to reiterate, I do have a decent mining level and a mithril pickaxe, and two and three have shooting stars in them. But I don't. I'm not going to get a shooting star task because the chunk picker doesn't know that I have a way to train mining. It's under the impression I'm still level one mining because I don't have a bronze pick or a way to even if I had a bronze pick, I don't think I've come across a copper or tin or clay or anything like that. So I won't have to deal with a shooting star. But as soon as I get a bronze pick, I think it might have me do that. I'm not sure. But three doesn't have anything for me. It should be fine. Eight, like I said, there's a big combat grind here. The dungeon here has hellhounds, so I'll have to do the smoldering stone grind, which is exactly why I wanted to backlog ranging because it'd be a waste to get 99 ranged and then immediately roll Witch Haven and have to get the Smoldering Stone post 99. It would just be a bunch of wasted time. I believe of the chunks that I have options to, 8 is pretty high on my list because it would give me access to feathers. It would give me a combat grind, which I've been kind of itching for. I've been big skiller up to this point, so I wanna do some murder at some point. 9. This is frustrating. I need to get over to my other account so I can show this. I had the Artie doc open to me, and I assumed that since I could access this and everything would be fine, I could roll the chunks. Is it this guy? No, it's this guy. They're both wearing blue. Um, I assumed that I would be able to get to Brimhaven in Remington, which I can. Their whole chunk, like the boat that I land on is inside the chunk. And the boat, oh, I don't know what that was. The boat that I arrive at in Remington is all in the chunk also. So in theory, I should be able to roll these. The problem is when I arrive back in Artie, because the only way I have to come back here is through the boat, the freaking boat is out of bounds. So this is just me being frustrated and venting for a second. There's no content on boats. Even though we have sailing now, there's no reason that you charter somewhere and you arrive on the boat and you have to click the gangplank with a tiny hitbox, and it's so frustrating me that you have to boat places and it doesn't just spit you out on the dock. It's just busy work to have to click the gangplank every time you charter someplace, and I wish it didn't do that. If there was stuff on boats like NPCs or Easter eggs or chests that you could loot and like tie it in with a thieving skill or something like that, I'd be fine with it. But I can't actually get to Remington or Brimhaven until I get this 9 chunk, which has nothing in it. I don't think. I don't think I can do Tower Life. I want to say it takes you out of the chunk a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's why I have the boat here, is because it just gives me access to the to the boat on the ready dock. 7 is a little complicated. This I hope this makes sense. 7. This is my memory. I haven't looked into this, but this is just because I've played the game for a bit and I think I remember this. The chest up here in 7 is a diary task. I will have to loot it, but if you fail to loot it, it spits you out in Witch Haven. So I can't actually do that task to picklock the thing. If I'm successful, it'd be great, but I don't think you have a 100% success rate at any point, and it spits you out in Witch Haven, which would be out of bounds. So I would have 7. I don't think 7 would immediately give me any grinds. I'd have a furnace, but I already have the mithril plate body, so that's not going to add anything. And I don't think I can do any quests. There's a few quest starts here, but I don't think I can do anything. It wouldn't do anything for me immediately. If I rolled 7, had nothing to do, and then immediately rolled 8, I would then have to do the grind for the um, I would have to do the thieving grind, get the chest opened, and then its contents would have to be something I'd have to process. The contents of the chest, if I recall correctly, is a raw shark, a uncut sapphire, and an adamant ore. I have a way to train cooking, so I would have to process the shark, but getting 80 cooking wouldn't actually be that bad with the methods I have. Um, I can already cut a sapphire. I have 52 crafting, and that's easy enough. But the adamant ore, I would need to get 88 smithing to process the adamant ore, which is millions more experience than I currently have. That would become the task I would have to backlog. That's like the biggest grind I have around me by a long shot. It would take me so long to do this trek into the dungeon over and over and get all the smithing supplies I need, and then I would have to get more nature runes because I don't think it'd be worth it to get a bunch of iron ore and waste half of it on the furnace here in this building. Um, it would immediately be the thing I'd have to backlog, and it would be backlogged probably until I get to Keldegrim and I got the blast furnace. I doubt that there's like a better way to train mining around here for a while. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's like, I don't know, Port Khazard things. Maybe I don't know. But that's why there's the smithing thing on there. That's definitely going to need to be backlogged if that happens. Um, like I said, these don't. I don't think there's anything here. If I roll these, I probably get to roll again immediately. It would be nice to have another bank. 5 doesn't have anything for me. There's another shooting star, but again, I'm kind of safe from those because the chunk picker doesn't think I have a way to train mining. I did lamp to 20 agility, so I can cross one of these. I think it's this shortcut here. So I could access this, but there's nothing here except I think the dude who gives you the poison chalice for crafting, which could be kind of nice. And then 6 and 4 have nothing. It would just, I just want more space. If I can go north and like get closer to Keldegrim, that'd be kind of cool. I believe Keldegrim would also give me access to the dwarven mines under Falador because of the minecart system, and that would be super cool. It would be a lot of grinds. I'd have to get 99 smithing. I wouldn't need 99 mining because I can't get above ground, but it would. I guess I would make this chunk rollable at that point, which would be kind of cool. Um, I want to get around. I want more space. And then I think last is 1, which doesn't do anything for me. It would give me a teleport. It would finally give me access to the Camelot teleport, which maybe would be cool. I don't know. And another farming patch, which would be neat. So that's where I'm at. Just want to double check that I didn't miss anything. I think we're good. The curry. That's what I had to get the cooking level for. I couldn't remember. But I think that should be it. Making sure there's nothing I want to talk about. I don't think there is, and I've talked long enough. I'm ready to roll a chunk. And you can, last thing, you can see down here the time. So like I started my account, and then I think I was here for like a month doing the woodcutting stuff, and I rolled like in the end of May. Then I rolled 3 chunks back to back because there was just literally nothing here. And then I've been stuck here for let's see, it's the middle of January, like 6 months, 7 months, I don't know. I'm ready to roll a chunk. Let's do it. Yo. Sweet. Okay, what do I got? Step 1. Okay, I don't really want to slow down the video and go do that right now. I'm gonna roll another chunk real quick. I believe I have the agility shortcut level for this. Let me just check on my account. I don't. The shortcut level is 48, and I only lamped to 20 because 20 is all you need to get across the coal trucks. So I can roll this chunk, but I will only be able to access like the southern portion of it. So good to know. I can go. I'm guessing just start the quest. Obtain evidence. Can I not do this? Oh, I can't get a pot. Okay, so it's literally just start the quest. Okay, I'll do that later. Let me roll another chunk, and then 10. Oh, cool. Okay, so that's the max cape. That's funny. So if I roll 10, I can access this coast here, and it will make the max cape a big issue if I ever get around the mountain and roll the Warriors Guild, because I don't really want to think about it. I think it speaks for itself how big of a grind that'll be. That'll be kind of fun. Let's roll a chunk. Okay, 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 okay. That's cool. That's cool. But I am really close to my fletching issue now. Let's see what the task is. Buy a candle. Okay, I will. Oh man, that's really scary. I'm glad I got that because the charter ship. One of the problems I had when I started farming was like I didn't have any way to make super compost because you don't start making super compost unless you, I think, throw away strawberries or watermelons is when they start. And I was like, I kind of want to save those because farming seeds is hard to get. But now I have pineapples. Like I can finally make some decent super compost. That's kind of cool. Um, this chunk, I guess, is rollable because of this little nubbin here on the corner. Let me switch over again, and let's see. Let me see if it's been 6 months. Let me see if I remember how to do this. That does it, and then this one. Okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick and do these tasks because it's not gonna take that long, and I don't really want to stop recording and have to do another video. I do have access to the bees, which I don't believe do anything for me until I have to build a sled. I have these yew trees now. New music track, that's so cool. I did accidentally pass the barrier here into this Sinclair Mansion chunk. There was an impling that I caught that passed over, so I dropped the loot on the ground. I was like, I don't deserve it. And cool, another bank. I actually am really excited about that. This will be a really dope spot for cooking training when I get to do that. I do finally have a general store, which is cool too. I have pots. Sweet. I can complete the quest now. I didn't realize. Let me switch back over. This changed. It's complete the quest, so I can actually do that now. That's kind of cool. Oh, um, let me switch back over. This shop sells a bronze pick. Um, so all that talk that I just made about shooting stars and stuff, I now have a bronze pick. I am a regular like copper or tin or rock away from having to get 90 mining for shooting stars, which will suck. This isn't even like a decent head start. This is nothing. That sucks. Okay, well that's cool. This shop doesn't have much else. I can buy a few pots. This might be my first shop that has rope, which is cool. I had bowls. I didn't have cake tin, so I guess I can make a cake now. I'm not sure if that does anything for me. I'll have to look around and see if I have everything. I know I didn't have pots before because I looked into making flour and seeing if I could like make pies, but I didn't have a pot. And weirdly enough, I have like a lot of area, but there's no implings that I can get, and I know implings drop pots, which could have been kind of cool. Um, Sweet. Okay. Well, I'm going to move back over, and we have the crafting thing now. I'll probably start banking a bunch of crafting supplies. I do have a lot of GP in the bows and the plate bodies that I've made, so I should be able to buy all the stuff that I need for crafting when that happens. Let me check that off. I'll do this later. It's not going to take me very long. It's not a challenging quest. I don't really feel like making content out of that. Um, but dang, I'm really close to freaking fletching now. If I have to get fletching and I don't have arrows, like if I can't make arrows because I don't have feathers, I guess I'm just gonna chop a bunch of yew trees or something. I might backlog fletching. I don't know. I need to figure out which one takes longer. It probably still makes sense to keep ranging backlogged because I want to spend that on a good combat chunk. But dang, that's scary. Okay, I guess let's roll another chunk. Okay. That gave me 6 more tasks. Okay. That's a big cooking grind. Curve bone, long bone, clue hunter. Okay, this I was wondering where the chunk was with moss giants. I'm betting that's what this is. Ogres. Oh, that's not super fun. Is it because the dungeon here? It might be because of the dungeon. Dang. Okay. Well, this will be a combat grind. I don't think it'll be too long. I think curve bone is the rare one. 1 in 5,000. Okay. Well, that'll take a minute. I mean, I guess I'll have to range a bunch of ogres now. I have no idea what that dungeon looks like, and I have no idea if there's a decent way to safe spot anything. And then I can do Plague City. I don't think that all the sheep are in bounds, and that's what it's probably going to be hung up on. Um, what the heck did I just rope? Okay. I don't know what I did. This one. Pull off the grate. Okay, I'll figure out what I can do in Plague City. Oh, sheep herder. That's what I was thinking. That's why I mentioned the sheep. I'm dumb. I can start Plague City, but I can't get very far. Okay, and then this bear meat. Dang. Ugh, that's gonna suck. Okay, so I'm probably gonna do like I did before, where I got a bunch of chocolate bars on my main account and I sold them to the shop and bought them and just banked them over and over. I do have. Oh, I got another bank. Sweet. I believe this is actually a closer run, so I get to do that, which is cool. I finally have a closer bank to the master farmer. That was kind of frustrating to have to run all the way down here to get to bank all my seeds and then go back up. So that's cool. Um, and then I guess I get to see where the fishing skill cape is. Like I said, he wanders, so I'm not sure like where his home tile is. I guess this wouldn't tell me anyway, so maybe I just won't know. Well, that's cool. I get to do some combat. Um, it's gonna take a while. Crap. I need to look at the cooking grind and see what I can do. One of the nice things I found about the chunk picker is you can see all your like training methods, and I think for cooking, I can see I could cook bread up to like level 7 where I can cook potato and yada yada. Um, yeah, so I just went from curry to making pies, and curry is not terribly good. I think gonna be chocolate cakes. I'm gonna do the math and see how many chocolate cakes it is. It's gonna be a ton. Let me see. Can I remove this? Get rid of that. Did it work? Okay, and then I'll remove this. Um, well, cool. I can. That's so cool. I rolled 3 chunks. That's sweet. So I'll complete murder mystery. I will probably do nothing in this chunk. There's nothing for me here yet. And I'm gonna spend a lot of my time AFKing ogres. And when I can, I guess I'll be cooking chocolate cakes. That's great. I can't think of anything else. I've been rambling for a while. I hope I explained things well enough. I know that most people play chunk accounts a certain way, and I'm trying to play a way that is fun for me, and I'm repeating myself now, so I'm gonna stop. I did want to go into the chunk real quick. I just unlocked it. So I have the. I don't think I can go in here. Maybe I can, and it spits me out of bounds. Maybe that's allowed. I don't know. There's the man. That's going to be issues for me. I did range a bunch of goblins because they're out of bounds, but I was able to like draw them into my chunk. I guess I can kill these now. That doesn't do anything for me. This field doesn't have anything in it. I don't get anything in this field, and then I just have. I don't really want to go in here yet blind, so I'm gonna get a bunch of supplies and go explore in there, and I'll do that after I hang up on you. Um, but yeah, I appreciate watching this, and hopefully I didn't bother too many people. This isn't the OSAT, but like I said, I think this is kind of getting good, and I just enjoy this account, so I wanted to share that. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll roll a chunk soon and not be here for 6 months. So thank you. Bye.